Hey, everybody, this is Alex Merced, and I thought I'd figure I'd show you sort of some very basic development that you can do with using AI. So this is, in this case, just using a tool that I created to make it a lot easier to develop some very basic pages using AI with, very, if you have like zero coding knowledge. So essentially, this is colortheme.alexmerced.app. It's a color theme, kind of like Coolers, but with a couple extra features and more sort of, you'll see some extra features specifically geared towards AI development. But essentially, you can just generate a theme. Okay, and the goal here, what we're going to do is build a sort of like link in bio type page. One of those like little mini web pages that has a series of links that you can link to, in your profile or whatnot. So that way you can share all your relative links. But oftentimes, you've seen a lot of these like link in bio pages or services, they cost money and whatnot. Here, I'm going to show you how to kind of create one for free without coding knowledge with the aesthetic that you like. So you can just use this general theme. Again, here's the URL, colortheme.alexmerced.app. Okay, and you can just click generate theme until you find the theme that you like. We'll try different fonts, different colors. Again, right now it's on random, but if you want like a more monochromatic deal. Okay, but let's say we're going to go with this, right? Now, for a variety, there's different ways you can export the data, but down here at the bottom, let me actually do a shift refresh for me because it always uses the cache version of it. But if I refresh the page, you'll see this generate markdown spec sheet. So this is generally how I'll do a lot of spec-driven development. The idea here is a spec sheet is just something that kind of describes what you're trying to build in a detailed way, so that way the AI can kind of give you good outputs. I'll show you two different ways of doing this. One that does require you some like tooling, and one you can just do if you just have access to like ChatGPT or Gemini or something like that. Okay, so first let's click generate markdown spec sheet. And then you have a couple different options. So if you're creating like a one-page marketing website, just a generic website, so we're going to create like the mobile link page. So I'm going to create that. And then here it gives me a nice spec sheet that I can then copy. So I'm going to just copy it to my clipboard. Okay, I'll head over to something that everybody has access to, gemini.google.com. Okay, let me just do that from a different email. Where basically, hey, this is like a free account because I want to show you like, hey, this is what you can do for free. Okay, so instead of using like a Google Pro account, okay, and then what I can do is I can just say, hey, I want to make a website based on the following spec. Please read the spec and confirm you understand it. Okay, and then I will read through this. I usually would probably copy this into another place and then it's like edit it from there, but this is again really quick. So again, I'm just reading through it. Custom theme name, a link specification, say link in bio, page. Again, I'm just gonna put some stuff in here. Alex Merced. Your friendly tech geek. Here I can find a URL of a picture, so I can use something like imgur.com. Sign in. I forget what my account's under, so we'll just use this email. Okay, so I'm just gonna create favorites, posts. Okay, I'm gonna create a new post. Then paste an image here, let's say of myself. Choose a photo or video. I got some pictures of myself somewhere here. Well, we'll just go with this, Alex. Nah, I don't want that one. Pictures, videos, pictures, just like an avatar section. There it is, avatars, AI Alex. Let's try this one. Yeah, we'll just use that. Why not? Okay, get share links. And what I really want is I'll just copy this BB code forums one. I really just want the URL. So I'm going to paste that here. Okay. There we go. You always want to make sure that you have the the file extension in the URL, so that way you know you're actually linking to the file itself. Background, solid color. I'll just make that solid color. Design system, that's all kind of there. I think that's pretty much all I have to really change here. Oh yeah, and links. Okay, so we'll call this like main website. AlexMerced.com. I don't care about the icon. Link to, we'll say my Twitter. And we'll say that's twitter.com/AlexMercedCoder. And I'll leave that. And then I will ignore the rest of the links for now. Okay. And then here I can put more URLs if I wanted to. So again, Twitter, I can just say Instagram URL at AlexMercedCoder. Just put the usernames at AlexMercedCoder. At AlexMercedCoder. I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't care. Okay, that's fine. I'll delete these. Features, analytics, customization, blah, blah, blah. Again, you can continue like editing all this to kind of get it exactly what you want. So I'm just going to hit enter to make sure this says that it understands. Cool. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to github.com. If you don't have a GitHub account, create one. It's free. You can create a new GitHub repository. Okay, so I'm going to say, hey, this is a repo under my account, and we're going to call this sample link in bio page. And that's it. Now again, right now it's empty, so you're going to just click on create a new file. Okay, and the name of the file is going to be index.html. That's all that matters. Now we're going to go back to Google Gemini and say, hey, next we will create our index.html, index.css, and index.js. Please first create our index.html. Then it's going to just give you the code. There it is. Okay, I will copy that code. Paste that into here. Okay, and then I'm going to commit the changes. Cool. Then I'm going to go create another file. Click over here, add file. And this will be, go back over here. I want to add a file. Index.css. And then I'm going to go back to Gemini and say, create our index.css. Make sure that has everything on it. Good. Okay, copy it. Good. Okay, commit changes. And then last, I'll create the index.js. And because I gave it all the file names ahead of time, it knew how to link everything up. So, you know, it'll have it all linked up because it knows what the file names are going to be. This is why it's important to like be explicit in your prompts. So now create the index.js. We shouldn't have much on it. Create the index.js because I can't imagine there's going to be really much interactivity other than like clicking some links here. Okay. Cool. There. Copy it. I'm going to take a quick read here because I'm wondering what it's actually doing. Track elements, create selector all, link in bio. Okay, I guess it's doing some sort of analytics for some reason. Save, click to storage. Okay. Implement page views, set up animations. Okay, yes, it's not really doing anything all that important there. Okay, commit changes. Cool. And the cool thing about like GitHub is that now I can click over here on settings. I can use GitHub Pages. So you go over to, it's been a while. Here we go, Pages. And you can say deploy from branch. And you're going to choose the main branch because there's no other branch. And then the folder is the root because we're not doing anything fancy here. All the files are right there, right in the top level. So we just hit save. Okay, and then we just wait. Okay, your GitHub page is currently being built. Learn more. And then you give this a few seconds or a few minutes, and then this should, like, when I refresh this, it'll give me a URL. Yeah, so I'll pause this for a second. Eventually, you'll see this up there after refreshing after a little bit of time. And this is the link to the website. And there you go. Again, if I had more links, we would have had that there. But again, this is going to be a nice mobile responsive website with links to all the things. Okay, so you created a link in bio that's completely free, easy to edit. Like if you really wanted to go like add more links afterwards, I mean, usually you can pretty much identify where to add the links pretty easily. So you can go like the index.html, and then you can see like the links. So you can see like right here is one link, and then you can just copy and paste that and add more. Okay, so that's a quick way you can do that. And again, you can do that with other types of websites there using the theme gen tool. So depending on sort of what kind of website you're making, there's a spec sheet. You can generate the spec sheet you need for the type of website you're making, and you can see like it implemented the scheme that we created. Now, if again I was doing something more sophisticated, then this is when I pull in like anti-gravity to do it. Just to show you how that would look like, I would go create like a new folder. So let's say, hey, open folder in Google's anti-gravity. This is like coding software that has a really nice AI agent built in. So I would create like a new folder. We'll just call this like link in bio. Open. Okay, and then what I would do is I would create a file called specsheet.md in that repo. And then again I'll just copy it from the repo. So let's go back over here to the repo. So we don't have to redo the whole thing twice. Same thing twice. Index.html. Oh no, that was all inside the Gemini. I put the spec sheet, so I have to go all the way back up there. Okay, that's fine. Let's just use the theme gen again. Let's actually try a different thing. Let's try the marketing one page. Okay. I'm gonna just paste that in there. And then I can just go in here in link in bio, go to the AI agent here on the right and say, hey, can you create an index.html, index.css, and index.js based on the information in the spec sheet.md. Okay, and then this is just gonna go read that spec sheet and begin building the website. So I'm gonna pause this while it does that. Okay, so now it's generated the files. Now it's just kind of giving me a summary of what it did. I'll let it do that. But like I can now quickly go use this live server extension to take a look at the website without having to actually like push to GitHub or anything. And no, that's the theme gen website. Wait, did it create this? 1 second. Doesn't seem right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh. For some reason, it's showing the wrong website. There we go. Okay, and this is what it created. Again, that was just like without any coding, without really, I didn't even specify the spec sheet. Just by copying that spec sheet from my color generator, it generated this nice, pretty website from the spec. And again, I could have done it in whatever color scheme you would have liked. And then again, if you had detailed that spec sheet, it could have created this like specifically to your specifications. Okay, and this was using like Google anti-gravity. Okay, to generate this nice, pretty website. And let's just make sure it's like mobile responsive. So let's go into like mobile mode. And yeah, see, it looks good on mobile. Okay, sounds good. I'll see y'all later. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Again, I'll put the links in the video description. Have a great day and enjoy.